Everybody, this is Bruce with habowskistudio. Just out today. It's Saturday. It is 51, supposed to be about 65. Super awesome here in Maine. And I got some idea today that I want to do, so we're going to go check it out. Check out the light. It is right now about 7:45 in the morning, and it's going to be a glorious day. Hi everybody, this is Bruce with habowskistudio, and today I'm going to be painting a railroad crossing signal. And as you can hear in the background, a train's coming, which is going to be really cool. So I'm going to be doing on an 8x10, a lot of drawing involved, so I want to keep it kind of small, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for joining me. Here comes the train. Let's get this on film. Very cool. Okay, I got so distracted by the train coming that a little gust of wind came along and blew my easel this way. I caught it just in time, but all my turpentine poured out. That's why you bring extra. And now I have rocks in the back, big rocks in the back of the French easel to hold it down, so that won't happen again because I have my umbrella open. And this is actually a plein air umbrella, and it'd be nice if they had vents in it so that the wind can go through. But you know, all designs can't be great, I guess. All right. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I'm working on a 1/4-inch panel, toned gray this time. And there's the inset picture of what I'll be painting, the railroad crossing. And that train was pretty cool, pretty awesome. Thought I'd share that with you. Now I'm just kind of checking angles, measurements, and it's going to be quite an ambitious project. There'll be some trials in this one, as you'll see. You see how I used the ruler there to get some straight lines quickly. I actually saw that on a James Gurney video when he was doing some architectural stuff. I said, that's a pretty good idea to get some quick perspective lines and guidelines to paint with. So, just kind of establishing some shadows. And now I'm going to be working on the sky. I'm getting some quantity of paint on there quickly with a palette knife. Then I'll manipulate it with a brush to cut around the shapes of the signals and that sort of thing. Using a mixture of the cerulean blue and French ultramarine and white, of course. Sometimes we don't think of mixing our blues together rather than just using separately in different mixtures. So I thought I'd try it out and see what effect I get. Kind of like it. Very vivid. It will be a nice contrast to the weathered signal stuff. Now I'm taking my brush, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is a Robert Simmons Sapphire line, round. I like how it applies paint and moves the paint around. Nice brush. Use it for a while, see how it holds up before I commit to getting some more. I prefer using rounds in painting. I like the strokes it leaves. Some nice flats can be useful, obviously. I like to try to get some long flats and experiment with those. Like I mentioned, cutting around the forms now. Also, like I've mentioned in previous videos, painted the signals first and then cut around the sky to get nice crisp edges. Sometimes we get into a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a super duper, but a method of working when we're plein air. Tried and true, so to speak, but I don't want to get too comfortable. Like try different things. trying to cut around the shapes of the hardware that I want to creating negative shapes, so when I go to paint the hardware later, I won't be having to deal with the wet sky. Is the plan. Cutting around. And the darks tones under the shades of the lights there is burnt umber, ultramarine blue. Gives me a nice dark. What I would have done differently is come here earlier, like I see the light and the shadows the way I want them. Come maybe an hour before, hour and a half before, and draw it out completely. Do a drawing and potentially even have it, draw it out on paper, test out the angles I want, that sort of thing. It's a very acute angle that we're viewing this in, so a little unusual that way, but I like the drama. Very, very nice. Moving the paint around. Could have used a bigger brush, but like I said, I like those rounds. Now, don't forget, when you're painting dark objects in sunlight, they do absorb light, so do not make them too light in the sunlight. They're still black signals, so just black signals in sunlight. Now I'm working on the pole, just getting a base shadow in there that'll manipulate later. And when I'm painting the signal color, what I'll be doing is putting some paint here and there. Some areas will be kind of full tone, and other parts it will be kind of dashes and slashes, sort of like impressionist painting. And then when I mix other dark colors to do the signal, I'll mix in between those, so you get some variation. I'll have some little maybe burnt sienna mixed in with the ultramarine blue, touch lighter, so there's little variations that way, not just one big tone of black of that circular signal part there, the backing behind of the light there. Now on top of these shades over the lights, there was a very slight glint of reflection. You can barely see it in the reference photo of the crisscrossing parts up above. The light hitting those and bouncing off. Little subtle things you want to watch for when you're painting. The angle of light's probably about, as you're looking at it, probably about at 10 o'clock. It's kind of a little lower. That's why you have that acute shadow cast from the shade on the light. It's not, the sun isn't too high above yet. Of course, it changes as time goes on, but snapped the inset picture at the time I started the painting. So now I'm mixing up some color for the crossing sign itself. Again, I'm not using straight white. I have some umber mixed in there, a little yellow to age it a bit, and yet it still reads pretty brilliant, so I like that effect a lot. And I see the top part that says crossing, that has a little thickness to it, whereas the edge on the other one that says road did not. Just working on some darker, deeper shadows, shaping that shade. And that'll let that red pop out a little bit as I do that right up against that curve of the red light. Very ambitious project for me. And as you see, as the painting progresses, the back of the other signals is pretty complicated hardware. Trying to do some technical thinking and painting at the same time, capture the light, proved to be pretty difficult. But I knew I wanted to give it a shot, so. And this ended up being another busy road, more busy than, for whatever reason, than it usually is. And not sure why. Just prone to that, I guess, when I pull off side of any road I pick. Just getting the rest of the sky blocked in there. Use some ultramarine blue and cerulean blue with white, and got that color in there. You're not going to see a shift down to the horizon of a cooler, distant kind of blue because of the angle which we're looking at the subject matter. So you can't just arbitrarily put that in there because you're looking more up at it. So observe. Using my trusty little maul stick as I cut around here. And you get the proper medium and the flow of paint. That's really comes off that brush nice. I use this brush quite a bit through the painting. And you'll probably see it zoomed in parts later on, but there's subtle little variations in that gray tone of the face of the signal. Again, really learning how to not make things that are dark in the sunlight too light and then lose their effect of being dark, if that makes any sense. Because we can tend to make them too light and then they don't read properly. I mean, it's a black signal light in sunlight, so and the dark tones absorb sunlight. Trying to compare it to the railroad crossing part, the crisscross of the little metal boards there. Can you imagine something like a subject matter like this? Of course, your drawing would have to be spot on and everything, but 40 by 50 inches, like really huge. That'd be pretty awesome, little kind of modern looking painting. So I want to thank you for watching the session 1 here of this railroad crossing painting, and be sure to check out part 2 when it comes along. I learned a lot in this piece how I would plan out a painting of this complexity next time, so at least learn something when we go out and paint, and that's the plan. Thanks for watching.
Okay, everybody, I want to thank you for joining me today. I'm actually going to see if the weather's like this tomorrow. I'm going to come back and work on it some more, obviously. I'm not done yet. It takes a lot of drawing, a lot of paying attention, and I have to head home right now. But a little windy today, had some gusts that blew over the easel and everything, but wanted to quickly get some color patches on here that pretty much represented the subject. Got a lot of work to do in this area here, but hopefully we can work on that again tomorrow, and we'll go over it when I get home. Also, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel, check out more cool videos. And if you are a subscriber, thanks for checking them out. I appreciate the support. Hey, just heading back from the plein air experience I had with painting the railroad crossing. And obviously needs a lot of work. I'm going to try to come back tomorrow to finish it up. And I want to thank you for joining me today. It was an experience. Talk to you later. Okay, I'm sitting on my patio here, and here's what I got today. A lot of pay attention time. Looking at it on the camera here, I thought I was going to have issues with the perspective, but it looks fairly decent. Some minor changes I got to do, I think, but at a certain point towards the last, I think, half hour, I just started slapping in some tones of color to get in relationship with one another to get ready for the next session that I normally don't do, but with this subject matter I've learned a few things. So I'll go to the same location tomorrow at the same time and work on finishing it up. I just want to get some tones in there that are generically pretty darn close, and I'm going to let it sit out here and tack up, get dry up some paint. The sky, I'm sure, will remain wet, but a little bit of grit here and there on the painting. I got to get out of there from when my easel fell over and some dirt got on the palette. I mean, it's just, it was a little hot mess in the beginning, but one of the things I would do differently next time on a subject like this is go there, do a drawing first, so I have that ready to go, and probably mix up some piles of color that approximate the colors to get a head start there. But I think mostly the drawing, drawing out. I spent quite a bit of time doing that, so lessons learned, and hopefully we'll be able to finish this up tomorrow.